Saturday is shining. The leaf blowers are whining. The Range Rovers are idling in the benevolent breeze. Those aren't just lyrics. They're a snapshot of a suburb, of a mindset, and of a country that, according to one recording artist, is more comfortable than it is awake. Roger Street Friedman is an Americana singer-songwriter with a sharp pen and a soft voice. His latest song and the newly released accompanying music video, "The Land of the Leaf Blower and the Mighty SUV," appears on his fifth studio album, Long Shadows. He lives on Long Island, and his latest song isn't just a tune, it's a mirror.
I first noticed this disconnect between these very safe suburbs and the fear after the killing of George Floyd. I mean, people were up in arms over peaceful protests that included folks who looked different than them. It struck me how quickly that discomfort turned into outrage, and it made me look around a little more closely. I mean, these are some of the safest places in the country, and yet underneath it all, there was this low hum of anxiety.
All us white people are just about as safe as can be.
Is this a song about race?
Absolutely. That line, all us white people, is intentional, and I suppose it's meant to make us a little uncomfortable. We live in these places that feel calm and prosperous, but we forget they were shaped by policies that completely excluded people of color. In the New York suburbs, redlining was real. Realtors would not show homes to black families in certain neighborhoods. That history didn't just shape communities, it shaped wealth. If your house is in a poorer neighborhood, your schools are underfunded. Your health care isn't as good. Your opportunity to build generational wealth just is not the same. And look, of course crime exists. I'm not naive. But in places like this, these quiet middle to upper class suburbs, it's statistically extremely low. And yet, the fear persists. You see it in the case of someone like Ralph Yarl, that poor teenager who was shot just for ringing the wrong doorbell in Kansas City. Or Kaylin Gillis, a young white woman who was killed after her friend pulled into the wrong driveway. That's white fear in action, often irrational, many times deadly, and far, far too common. And that fear isn't organic, it's fed. It's stoked by 24-hour cable news channels, social media, and politicians who stand to gain power or profit from keeping people afraid. It's an old dynamic with very new high-tech tools. That same fear continues to shape housing policy, even in the midst of this terrible national housing shortage. Proposals to build affordable housing in the suburbs are met with cries that they want to destroy the suburbs. It's a modern twist on an old panic. NIMBYism is now about identity and fear of the other.
That fear is now being used on a national scale to justify mass deportations and the erosion of constitutional protections like due process and habeas corpus. Policies once considered unthinkable are now mainstream. And in 2024, Donald Trump rode that fear all the way back to the White House. We can't see an inch in front of what we always see. Friedman's lyric is a confession about the blindness we inherit, about how hard it is to see beyond what we were taught to fear.
You know, we inherit racism, we inherit fear, and if you grow up surrounded by people who look like you think that's safety. And when you see people who don't look like you start seeing shadows instead of people.
There's another line in the song, "Hey baby, why the alarm? Either way the wind blows, not likely gonna cause you any harm." What did you mean by that?
Yeah, that line's about how fear lingers, even when there's no real threat. Either way the wind blows means that no matter what happens or changes in the country, in these areas, our bucolic suburbs, it's still incredibly safe. But people react like any shift in culture or demographics is a threat, and that alarm is internal. It's been conditioned. The wind won't hurt you, and neither will your new neighbor.
In a time when even acknowledging inequality is branded as woke, Friedman sings through the noise, not with anger, but with clarity. You end with the line, We don't know the difference between the neck and the knee. That's a powerful statement.
I mean, after George Floyd's murder, I started seeing how desensitized we can become to reality and how privilege distorts perception. A lot of white Americans feel like the proverbial knee is on their necks, but it's not. The knee has been on the necks of Black Americans for generations, economically, socially, and literally, and that's systemic racism. And we can't begin to fix it if we don't admit it. And then some people will call what I'm saying here reverse racism, and that simply pointing out injustice is somehow an attack on them. But that's not the case. It's not. Racism isn't just about personal prejudice. It's about systems and structures that have favored one group over others for generations and generations. Saying that out loud doesn't mean flipping the system to hurt anyone else. It means beginning to see the system clearly for what it is and asking ourselves, what kind of a country do we want to be?
In the land of the leaf blower and the mighty SUV, Roger Street Friedman is asking a question we rarely pose. What are we so afraid of? And what might happen if we finally stopped to listen? For 6 or so minutes, I'm Knott Pelli. You can view the video for The Land of the Leaf Blower and the Mighty SUV on Roger Street Friedman's YouTube channel, stream the song on your favorite streaming service, and learn more about Roger and his music at rogerstreetfriedman.com.